Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about whether it's actually worth it to enter the South Korean e-commerce market. I've been asking around, and there are some conflicting views or some concerns about, whether South Korean e-commerce business is actually worth doing or not. So I want to give some evidence or some substantial facts that you can consider when you make a decision or when you decide whether you should expand to the South Korean e-commerce market or not. Well, first and foremost, the e-commerce market is growing, as everybody knows, and it's growing at a very substantial speed. The largest e-commerce market in the world right now is actually the US, which everybody probably knows already. The second largest market in the e-commerce realm is China, and the third is UK, the fourth is Japan, and right after Japan is actually Korea. So South Korea is ranked fifth worldwide in terms of e-commerce volume. So if you are a seller that's already selling in your home country and you want to expand to some other country, some other market, then of course the first thing you would consider is the volume, the market size. Now, Korea is a country of 50 million people. So Korea is actually quite a big country, I would say. Like, not in terms of land, the peninsula is very small, but 50 million people in population, that's not a small country. And if you're going to do the e-commerce business, the two main factors is, of course, the population and the GDP. It's basically like how much money a person makes on average, right? They must be able to afford your stuff, right? So Korea's GDP, I believe, is ranked somewhere in the top 20. I think like somewhere between 10 and 20. And it's closer to 10 than 20. Okay, so continuing. So we are on the topic of, so is it worth it? Is it worth going through all that hassle in order to sell in the Korean e-commerce market? And I'm gonna give you the answer first, which is yes, it is worth the hassle. Anything and everything in this world that is of value, requires effort and hard work, there's discipline, it requires going through competition, right? Winning, you have to be a winner in order to make money, in order to really succeed in life in general, right? So the harder it is to achieve something, then of course the reward is going to be greater. Looking past my 10 years of e-commerce expertise, I think Korea is actually the hardest market, like globally. Like, you can compare any market with the Korean market, and you would come to the conclusion that entering the South Korean market is actually the hardest of all markets. Yeah, the point I want to make is, since it's so hard to enter the Korean market, it's going to pay off. That's basically what I want to say. A lot of Koreans are really open to trying out new things, but you have to pass that, the level of entry in order for Koreans to try out anything at all. So what I want to say is Koreans are open to try out a lot of stuff. They're open-minded, as far as I see it. They're great consumers, they're great buyers. But you have to reach the bare minimum. And what I mean by bare minimum is you have to understand at least how Koreans pay, like what kind of cards they use. Do they use Visa? Do they use MasterCard? And I'm probably sure you guys never heard about Kakao Pay or Naver Pay, right? These type of payment systems are like, Alipay or WeChat Pay in China, or Stripe in the US. And they have their own thing in Korea too. So you need to have an understanding of that. Or if you're not going to have an understanding of that, then you need help, basically. You can't. If you don't have a basic understanding, and this is like one of the many things about the South Korean market, and you need to have an understanding of all these things, and one of which is payment systems, right? And I'm going to be talking about memes, I'm going to be talking about culture, I'm going to be talking about design, and the Korean style of design, which is so different from the US. It's entirely a different landscape. So you can't expect your US type designs or like UK type designs to fit in the Korean to fit in the Korean taste, because Koreans have a specific taste. They have a specific style that they prefer, and I'm gonna explain that to you. I'm gonna show you some examples about that too. So I hope yeah, you guys keep watching, and hopefully you guys will learn a lot. And if anyone is interested in finally entering the Korean market, then I really hope that all this information is going to be helpful to you in the end.